It's time for episode 26 of the Mystical Times blog podcast with me, Michelle Eve. This episode is called Church Hauntings at Christmastime. Christmas happens in the dark month of December, and with daylight hours being few, the darkness is illuminated with Christmas lights to bring out a sense of comfort and celebration. In those dark corners where the lights can't reach, it's easy to think that ghosts dwell there, so it's no surprise that many ghostly spectres are seen around this season. For this Christmas episode, I'll share 2 of the spooky Christmas experiences. These all come from the book Ghosts at Christmas by Darren W Ritson, which I highly recommend getting yourself a copy of. The Hooded Spectre. It was a couple of days before Christmas in 1926 when 2 police officers were patrolling the area by St. Peter's Church in Hereford. As they approached the church's gate, they both stared towards the door of the church, and they saw something which caught their attention. A strange hooded figure that appeared to be wearing a full-length black cloak. The police decided to investigate, just in case it was a burglar, so went into the churchyard. They then saw the figure make its way through the grounds of the church, and it was then that they saw it pass through a set of locked iron gates. As the policeman looked on in astonishment, the figure then proceeded to pass through the locked doors of the church. It soon became known to the locals what these 2 officers had witnessed, and it wasn't long until others admitted they too had seen this ghostly figure. The father of a former organist said he too had seen this spectre on a few occasions. One time it had come through the locked church doors, and it had always been seen in late December. Many people felt they might know who this spectre was. Several people thought it could be Walter de Lacy, who had died when he fell from the church tower in the 13th century. Others felt it could have been a monk who was rumoured to have been murdered at the altar. Years passed and no ghostly figure had been seen until reports came in saying that several people passing the church at the break of dawn had witnessed the ghost. This time, the news of the spooky sightings brought hundreds of people to the church who were wanting to witness the ghostly hooded figure themselves. To stop the hordes of people flocking to the church, a report was put out that someone had been caught faking the ghost. This worked, as interest was soon lost in going to the church for ghost hunting. Sightings of the ghost were still being reported, and again, witnesses only saw it in late December. Even to this day, the black, cowed, ghostly figure is still seen walking the same route at St. Peter's around Christmas time. Rage from Beyond the Grave. It was in 1813 that Reverend Nathaniel Templeman passed away. He had been the rector of St. Peter's Church in Dorchester, Dorset, and he was buried inside the church. His personality had been one of ensuring that his parishioners toed the line, and from all accounts he certainly didn't put up with any nonsense. It was on a Christmas Eve evening, a year after his death, that 2 church wardens were inside the church, preparing it for Christmas service. Once they had finished, they felt they should have a little celebration, so decided to have a small glass of the communion wine that was stored in the vestry. They filled their glasses and sat down on a wooden pew near the altar, satisfied with all the hard work they had done that evening. It was then that they both got the sense of someone or something inside the church with them, and before they even got to taste the wine, they saw the ghostly figure of Reverend Templeman, who was storming down the aisle towards them. He had his arms raised and his face was contorted, while his mouth was opening and closing, as though he was shouting at the churchwardens, but there was no noise at all. No sounds of his footsteps, nor his angry shouting was heard, and this was such a sight to see that one of the churchwardens dropped to his knees in shock, whilst the other warden fainted. The ghostly figure just disappeared as he reached the altar, leaving the two churchwardens in total disbelief to what they had witnessed. It would seem that Reverend Templeman wasn't happy with the churchwarden's behaviour, and came from beyond the grave to let them know that. That's all for this Christmas episode, and I do hope you've enjoyed hearing about these haunted church experiences. I want to wish you and yours a joyful Christmas and a prosperous New Year. The next episode, episode 27, will be out on Friday, January the 24th, 2025. Till next time.